Hey guys, it's your boy Scotty, back at you again with another video. Today we are doing deck tech number 2. This is my second deck I finished. I only have 2 completely finished decks, so I probably won't do any deck techs for decks I have not fully finished. Although I did notice while I was doing deck tech yesterday and deck tech today that I need to probably cut some cards and add in some new cards. But these are decks I have played consistently, had a list for, and I was happy with until I started doing these. So I will do the deck tech for this, and the one obviously yesterday is already done. But this time we are going to be doing Athreos God of Passage as an Orzhov deck tech. So yeah, let's get right on into it. Okay, guys. This is Athreos God of Passage. No, let's see if we can get the camera in focus. I know it's kind of shit, but super disappointing. Let's see if I take it out of the protective case, if it will show up better. Yes. Indestructible as long as your devotion to white and black is less than 7. Athreos isn't a creature. Whenever another creature you can own dies, return it to your hand unless target opponent pays 3 life. And this is the foil version from the Secret Lair. I just liked them that much. Now, I know that the common build for this is Shadowborn Fossils. However, literally every time I see Athreos God of Passage, it's always Shadowborn Apostles. I've yet to see a single Athreos deck that is not Shadowborn Apostles. So I wanted to make a deck that was not Shadowborn Apostles with Athreos God of Passage because I thought he was really cool. And then I was very disappointed to see that there's no creativity with any of the decks. So that is the commander. So I'll put up the main themes of the deck in the text. So this deck has 1 utility land and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. 35 lands. Basic, well, not basic lands, but non-utility lands. So a total of 36 lands, pretty on average. Probably could cut 2 or 3 lands because we not quite as strong of a ramp package as the last deck, but we still have a pretty decent ramp package. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ramp options. So first you got the Signet. Pretty classic. This one has whenever another creature you control dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token with sacrifice it, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. This is really, really solid because there's a lot of token generation as a sub-theme in here. So, and a lot of value you get out of that. So that's really nice. And also you can get a lot of your creatures back to your hand. So sacrificing them, getting them back with Athreos or someone else paying 3 life. Either way, your own benefit. Bantu's Monument. Whenever you play black creatures, your opponents lose 1 life and it's cheapened by 1, so that's really solid. And then this one, whenever non-token creatures, this one's like the pirate, but less good because it says non-token, which kind of sucks. But still, you get some value. It does ramp you. It's a 3-drop, so I mean, it can pull you out of a bad spot. So. Vladimir, really great. And it's also a creature, so you can sacrifice it. Or when it dies, if you get Ward Web, you can get it back to your hand if someone doesn't want to pay 3 life. That's really nice. Black Market, classic. Also Soul Ring, classic. Whenever a creature dies, you get more mana at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase. Golden Mirror is the twin of the, what is it called? Leaden Mirror. I thought it was like Black Mirror. I was like, that doesn't sound right. But yeah, and then Crypt Ghast has Extort, and then also whenever you tap a swamp for mana, you add 1 additional mana to your mana pool. Really awesome. And then Solemn Simulacrum with a nice, sexy art. And just battlefield, you ramp, and then when it dies, you draw a card. So actually, this goes really, really well in this deck because it's both drawing us cards and ramping us, and that the fact that we can get it back possibly is really, really good. Next, we're going to go into our card draw. So I also put tutors in here as well. This is the other black card, black god that came in the secret lair. It's really good. Your opponents can't gain life, and you can pay 2 life, a black, and a colorless to draw a card. It's indestructible, so it's really good. Very happy with that. At the beginning of your upkeep, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. So you just get to draw an extra card every turn. The negative is that you lose 1 life, but we have a lot of life gain in here. So we're not overly worried about that. So this one, either you can draw a card and lose 1 life, or you deal 2 damage to any target and you gain 2 life. That's when a swamp enters the battlefield under your control. The majority of the land base is swamps. There's a little bit of white sprinkled in, but the majority of the mana costs and the lands are black, or tap for both. Whoever creature you control dies, you draw a card, and you lose 1 life. Really great because it doesn't say non-token, so you can use it with tokens. Grim Tutor. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle your library, you lose 3 life. Great tutor, and amazingly sexy art. Here, let's see if we can't get it to focus a little bit better on it. No, does not want to. Very sad. This art looks super sexy. Really classic, Demonic Tutor. Can't go wrong with it. You search your library for a card, put it to your hand, and then shuffle your library. And then it's DC. I'm going to have to look up the translation because I can't remember exactly how it reads, but I know what it kind of does. It has Death Touch and Exploit. Whenever it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. When you exploit a creature, you may search your library for a card and put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So it's a tutor on a body. You just got to sacrifice a creature. It has Death Touch. It's a 4/6. So it's also really abusable because you can get it back to your hand with it being a creature a lot easier. And I will have the actual written text in the text box for when we go over that in the video. Got some target removal. I really need to upgrade this. I probably can cut 2 or 3 lands, maybe cut another card somewhere, 2 or 3 cards somewhere else. Get some more better target removal because white has really good target removal, so need to upgrade that. Vana, Butcher of Magan. Pay 7 life, destroy target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only during your turn. Vigilance, lifelink. So you pay 7 life, destroy something you don't like. And he has lifelink and vigilance, so that's awesome. And you gain a lot of life with this deck, so you can just start paying life to remove people's board states that you don't like to kind of keep things tame while you slowly decrease your opponent's life total. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Really great. This one is a hate card for graveyard decks. So if I'm playing against another graveyard deck, this is kind of like my cap for my cookie jar. My graveyard being my cookie jar. It's like, oh hey, yeah, no one can touch their graveyards until I have a sack outlet, and then whenever I want to go touch my graveyard, I can just sacrifice him, and then make someone else pay the life or get it back to my hand, and then I can cast it. So basically, I can have a field to block people from touching their graveyards, and then when I want to go touch my graveyard, I sacrifice it, and then I can possibly get it back, and then put a cookie jar lid back on. So really, really solid card. Great negotiation tactic with other players as well. It's like, oh hey, let's shut down the other graveyard deck. I mean, it's not going to shut me down, but I can shut them down. And they're like, yeah, sure, let's do that because it benefits them too. This one's a white and a colorless. Discard a card from your hand, destroy a target artifact or enchantment. We tend to have a lot of cards in our hand anyways, so this I don't mind. Just got to pay a 1 and a white, and you can destroy target artifact or enchantment. It's really, really solid. It's repeatable. These are our board wipes. Probably could add in 1 more board wipe as well. We got Massacre Worm. Whenever an opponent's creature dies, they lose 2 life, so it gets rid of tokens, weenies, type of deal. It's only for your opponents too, so it's really nice. Crypt Rats can close out a game if you have enough mana, because it deals X damage to each creature and player. Spend only black mana in this way. So if you've been gaining life all game and your opponents are kind of low from you taxing them so much, this is really, really great, because then you can just basically one-shot everyone. It does do the damage to yourself too, so you gotta have the highest life total, and you gotta have enough mana to do it. But hey, can close that game, or is a really, really good board wipe. Merciless Eviction, probably the best board wipe we have. It's pretty one-sided. It destroys what you want. And it exiles it too, so that's really strong. Win con, we only have one alternate win con, is Approaching Second Sun. Our main win con is through our main synergy, main theme, which we are about to go into. So we have Area. First, a lock win. Whenever another black creature enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life, and then you can sacrifice another black creature and draw a card. I almost put in the draw because the draw is so good on it, but it does help kill our opponents, which is the main theme. This guy, he's just a really good sacrifice outlet, so a lot of other benefits happen whenever he dies. So I'll put it in this pile because a lot of this is draining our opponents, so when he dies, other cards will drain our opponent, so I'll put them in here. And also, Athreos, whenever he dies, they can pay 3. Or he goes into our graveyard, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, because we can just pay 1 and a lot. Pretty solid. There's a better zombie version of that, but I think it's more expensive, so I think that's the reason why I have it. Whenever he enters the battlefield, you draw a card and you lose 1 life. Again, same reason this guy's in this pile instead is we can just repeatedly do it and drain our opponents as well and get it back. Kishko, the Evening Star. He's an all-star in this deck. When he dies, each opponent loses 5 life, and you gain life equal to life lost this way. So we gain 15 life, our opponents lose 5 life each. So really awesome. Great sacrifice outlet. Great. There's other synergy pieces that combo really well with that, and it starts devastating our opponents. Shredded Scorpion, another great one. He deals 2 damage to each opponent. You gain 2 life, and it's a 1-drop. That's really, really good. Blood Artist. Whenever another creature dies, target player loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. Really solid. Debt to the Debtless. You pay a lot of mana into this to make your opponents lose 2 times the life, and you gain life equal to life lost this way. Really, really good card, especially if you have a lot of mana. If you got a lot of mana, you can basically close out the game with that. It can be a game ender right there. Once you hit your opponent's pretty low. Enters battlefield, target opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Has flying, so it's really more or less to kind of both due to synergy and to also provide a flying blocker if you really, really need it. Put that in there because I didn't have enough flying blockers before people started smacking me. This guy, he does basically everything. You sacrifice 2 other creatures, which is the real downside, but if you got tokens, it doesn't matter. Any number of target opponents each lose 2 life and sacrifices a creature, and you add 2 black mana and you draw a card. So it does a lot. You just got to sacrifice 2 creatures. This one, it can be used to get creature cards from our graveyard into our hand to replay them again, so all of this. Or you can have your opponents lose 2 life and gain 2 life. Normally I pick the first option, but if things are going pretty well, then I'll start taxing my opponents instead, so it's a really good utility card. This one I will also have to Google real quick. If I can find it. Okay, this one has Extort. So whenever we cast a spell, we may pay white and a black. If you do, each opponent loses 1 life, you gain 1 life. And you gain that much life. Artifacts and creatures your opponents control enter the battlefield tap, so it's a great stacks piece and has Extort, so it's really, really strong. And it's a really low drop too, so we can make use of the Extort really early. Blizzard Grub. Whenever he dies, each opponent loses 2 life, and he has Swamp Walk. So you got another graveyard deck going on. You can start smacking them, punch them. They're not going to gain life. You're going to smack them. Grave Merchant of Asphodel, really, really good card. Your Devotion to block, you deal that much damage to your opponents, and so he's got 2 on him automatically. Then you gain life equal to life lost this way. Really great. Really easy to close out a game with that. And extremely, extremely budget. Like, super, super good. If you're running a black deck with any type of life gain, you need to be running it. If you're not, that's your own fault. You're dumb. Grasping Thrall. Enters the battlefield. It deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. Really high cost, but he's kind of what made me want to build this deck. I was like, oh, hey, we deal 2 damage to everyone, and then we gain 2 life. Oh, that's fun. So that's actually what made me want to build the deck. And then I happened to see Athreos like shortly after, and I was like, oh, let's do it. This one taxes our opponents really hard. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So I was like, hey, don't mess with my board, or pay life for it. Same thing as Blood Artist, basically. Whenever another creature you control dies, each opponent loses, except for this one says each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 1 life. So actually I think that this is better than Blood Artist, and I think it's even cheaper. I think Blood Artist happens to be more, but I think he's better because it's each opponent instead of target opponent. When Tattered Mummy dies, each opponent loses 2 life. A great sacrifice outlet to bring it back. And then Bashing Remembrance, he creates a 1/1 human soldier creature token, and whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Really solid. So the main theme for the deck is opponents lose life, we gain life whenever a creature dies or enters the battlefield. Here's some synergy pieces that go really well with it, like Blade of Selves. So Blade of Selves basically will allow us to double up, well actually triple our effects of death. So triple our death triggers or triple our ETB triggers. Because creature enters in battlefield, if it has ETB trigger, we equip it with this guy, and then when he swings, he makes 2 more, so then the ETBs happen again. Or with example of Kishko, let's grab him out. Yeah. So whenever Kishko enters the battlefield under our control, he's a legendary, so you have to sacrifice down until you have only 1 of them, because that is the legendary rule on it. So what you do is you equip Kishko with Blade of Selves, you swing with Kishko, you leave the original copies, choose the original copy, say that's equipped to Blade of Selves, and kill the other 2 copies, and then you're draining everyone for 10 life every time he swings, and you're gaining 30 life. So that's really, really, really solid. And that goes with a lot of creatures. So, or it does say they exile them at the end of combat. So if it's not a legendary creature, if you happen to have a sacrifice outlet, you just sack them to the sacrifice outlets before they get exiled. That way you can get the death triggers. So they're really, really solid. This thing, kind of same thing. Enters battlefield, comes into play. You remove a creature card in your hand from the game, and then you can pay X and tap it to create a copy of it. So it's the same thing with Kishko or other targets. You just make repeated copies. You just pay for the copies. Reanimate, get to bring back a creature. Really solid. There's a lot of really good targets in your graveyard a lot of times. Grave Betrayal. This turns your opponent's stuff that dies into your resources. That way you can sacrifice them, do ETBs and such. So a really, really solid card, and makes your board really scary and big. Takes a card off, you double up on your death triggers. So had to go in here. Panharmonicon doubles up on your ETB triggers. Had to go in here. This one I will have to Google again because it's also in a different language. When I got these cards, I was trading with this guy, and he kept bringing me stupid foreign language cards, which kind of irritated me, but it's whatever. So this one reads as you pay 2 to tap it. Copy target triggered ability you control. You may choose new targets for the copy. So like Kishko, when it dies, you can pay 2 to double up the effect, basically. Or if something ETBs or something dies, basically whenever something happens, you can pay 2 and copy it. So really, really good card. Doubles up your effects. And then this one has Extort on it. And whenever he attacks, you may return target artifact, creature, or enchantment from your graveyard to your hand. So you basically good graveyard recursion with Extort on it. It is kind of sucks that he is only a 4/4, so attacking with him is kind of dangerous. And then Elspeth, Sun's Champion, great token generator. Oh, by the way, this is our second sub theme. Lots of tokens and lots of effects of sacrificing outlets and benefits you get from things dying. In addition, that's not draining our opponents. So just really good aristocrat sacrifice stuff tokens. Creates 3 tokens, and then it's also a board wipe, and then also is a finisher as well. I believe I talked about it in my mono white deck. It's just an all-around superstar card for these type of decks. Phyrexian Altar. Oh, if we can get it to focus. Put it up. Camera does not. There we go. Beautiful. Beautiful artwork, and it's foil. This card was extremely expensive. It's probably the most expensive card I own. I really needed to finish off the deck. This was the last card I needed, and all they had was a foil option, so I had to pay extra for it. Kind of sucked, but it is what it is. Sacrifice a creature, add 1 mana of any color. Lots of infinite combos with that. I think I have infinite combos in here. I just can't remember what they are. Sacrifice a creature, destroy target non-black creature. You pay a black for it, though. And then this is Ashnod's Altar. You pay 0 to sacrifice a creature to add 2 colorless mana to your mana pool. So really great. You get some mana. This one is really, really fun. You pay 8 to create 13 tapped 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. So lots of tokens to sacrifice and get value out of. And then it has flashback of 10, so even if they counter it, you can still get it later on. Graveshine, fantastic card. Enters battlefield. Create two black zombie creature tokens. And if he attacks, you create 2 2/2s as well. And then Vraska Seer. You sacrifice a creature, and you scry 1. So that's a really great sacrifice outlet, and it's also only a 1-drop. Luminous Broodmoth. Whenever a creature without flying dies, you return to the battlefield with a flying counter on it. So we at least get, with this out, we at least get to sacrifice everything once, and they come back. So lots of great value there. And then we can sacrifice them and then get another trigger and then be like, hey, opponents, do you want to pay for it to come back to our hand? And this one is Butcher of Malakir. Whenever it or another creature you control dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature. For the solid card, God Eternal Oketra. Whenever you cast a creature spell, create a 4/4 zombie warrior creature token with vigilance. And whenever he dies or is put into exile from battlefield, you may put it into the library third from the top. So you can get it back and has double strike and it's 3/6. So a really solid threat and a great token generator. And you get it back repeatedly. Each opponent puts the top X cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. For each creature card put into graveyard this way, you put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield tapped. Really, really great way to mill opponents that don't benefit from their graveyards or mill, and get you to get a lot of value. So it's really awesome. But you might want to be careful about what type of decks you're playing that against, because it can go really bad for you if they're a graveyard deck or a mill deck. And then whenever another non-token creature dies, you draw a card. So it doesn't benefit from tokens like Butcher and Malakir, but still a really solid card, and it has Death Touch. Alrighty, and well, that's the deck. Okay, guys. So what do you guys think? Do you guys like the deck, dislike the deck? I know it's not Shadowborn Apostle normal build, so it's very different for Athreos, but the main concept of the deck is to make our opponents lose life, us gain life by us playing creatures or having creatures die. Sub-theme of lots of token generation and lots of benefits from us having creatures die, or ETB. So I know it's a little bit different deck, and the land count is actually exactly as recommended, but we have a really strong ramp package. So I'm actually considering cutting a couple land cards, like just basics, for more removal options, because I know that the removal options in this deck is really, really on the weak side, but I do play with a more casual group rather than a competitive group. So a lot of times you get away with not having as much removal. So what do you guys think? What's some cards you guys would cut? What's some cards you guys would add in? With some upgrades? Because a lot of decks I make start out as budget, and then just as I see really good cards, tend to upgrade them. So what's some upgrades you guys would suggest? What do you guys think about the overall theme of the deck compared to what you guys normally see with Athreos. Again, I'd just like to hear you guys' comments, have a little bit of discussion in the comment section. Again, don't care about likes, don't care about subscriptions, don't care about bell notification button. Only care that you guys enjoy the videos, you guys are having fun. Oh, also comment on ways that I can improve the videos for you guys in the future. But yeah, that's it. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye.